Right then, the whole world is looking at Manchester United and going, need goals. And people are looking at Sporting and going, well, that Viktor Gyokeres fella scores a lot of goals. Now, we did a scout report on him while he was still at Coventry, and he was available for what we thought at the time was around about 8 million. He's gone to Portugal and he's done, I think it's safe to say, ridiculously well, hasn't he? Now, does that mean that United should look for him? Does that mean United can afford him? Does that mean that he would be able to do it in the Premier League in this Manchester United side? Well, let's get into it. Now, quite clearly, he's a quality player. You know, when we scouted him, he was a player that I thought was someone that could do bits for Manchester United. I didn't know if he'd go and be like Europe's top scorer the way he has been, but he's clearly a quality player. The deal has got a real bad financial implication on it straight off the bat. I don't know what United have got to spend. I suspect it's not 100 million on a single player. Reports reckon that United are already in talks regarding Gyökeres with a potential move come the summer, certainly not in January. And that's reportedly only if sales are made. His release clause is around about £83 million, somewhere in the region of 100 million euros. But reports do suggest he might be available for 50 million. Now, for 50 million, I think that's a pretty good deal. And with FFP implications and the FFP situation combined with the general problems associated with buying people in January, I don't think there's any possible way that United could get this deal done in January. And then I think even by the summer, buying another striker for that amount of money should be questioned, especially when you've got Højlund and Xerxes and what's going on with Garnacho and Rashford, etc., all in the mix. It has to be questioned who you're going to give priority to. Gyökeres could attract a bidding war as well. So his value, even if he's possibly available for 50 million, isn't 50 million if 2, 3, 4 parties try and get in and get involved when it comes to trying to prize him away from Sporting. Now, if we was also to sign Gyökeres for the money that's been quoted, we'd be getting a player that instantly have to take to Premier League football. And he might do that. And at 27, he's entering the sort of prime where you could come in and expect him to do that. And you certainly would want him to come in and do that. But the jump from a Portuguese team that is firing, or certainly was up until Amorim left, to a Premier League team that isn't firing is not going to be an easy one to do. His goal-to-game ratio is frankly incredible, and he smashed the goal per game average this season with 16 goals in just 12 games. Can he do that in England? I would think not. I think there would be a reduction in that. So how much of a reduction would be looking? And is there negatives for us following in the footsteps of us signing another player or players from our new manager's old club? We've kind of done that everywhere except with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he wanted Erling Haaland. Now, in terms of the squad dynamics, Gyökeres would affect the dynamics. You'd have 2 strikers and only one position that they could play. I mean, Xerxes has got an option to play off one of the main strikers, but Højlund and Gyökeres would absolutely be looking to occupy the same position. And that's if you don't include Marcus Rashford as a number 9, and he might be a number 9 in this system. Højlund and Xerxes could find success in this regime, but you bring in Gyökeres, you've obviously going to have some issues. Where does Garnacho then fit into this? Is it necessary? Or do you have to figure out whether or not what you've got at your disposal right now is capable? And if it is not capable, do we have to cut our losses in order to bring someone like a Gyökeres in if the manager is certain that he would perform to the same required level in the Premier League? Because he might not. You know, leagues are different and the requirements are different, and the personalities of players suit other leagues and tempos better than they suit others. And the final point is, do we even need him? Which I know is a mad thing to say from me when all I've been doing for the last few months is telling you how our forward line is incapable of scoring the required number of goals. We have a guy here that's doing like 1.5 goals per game, and I'm going, do we even need him? I understand that looks mental on the top of things. But like I said already, you've got players that might be capable. We don't know under the new manager, under the new regime, if we can start getting a tune out of them. you'd have to throw away one, if not both of those, to bring Gyökeres in. And I think Højlund and Gyökeres, they're very similar in terms of the profile that they possess and attributes that they possess. They both like channel running. They're both in the sort of complete forward mold, if you like. They'd like to lead a line. They like to disrupt the opposition with physical attributes. I think of late, Højlund's got very much involved with trying to battle and win duels, and I think he's gone away from a little bit of what made him the player that we wanted to sign. You can put every single issue here together, and you can look at what Højlund achieved, except for the proven goal scorer part of it, and say Højlund is the same answer as Gyökeres is. I think right now it's absolute fairy tale stuff to be trying to figure out a way that Gyökeres could come in with the... If he was 8 million, I'd absolutely do it, and I wouldn't even think twice. But he's not going to be 8 million. He might be 10x that. And with that comes responsibilities and hierarchies and pressures that United don't really need. We have to prioritise bringing in a left-sided forward. You might need to prioritise bringing in a left wing-back. Like, there's a ton of other areas of concern in the team. And goal scoring absolutely is an issue. But I don't know if bringing in someone that's the same profile, and that's the important thing here, the same profile as Højlund is. For me, he should not be a priority unless we've already made a decision that one or both of Rashford, Højlund, Xerxes aren't going to stick around. If that's the case, cool. Let's do it. Otherwise, I think United are better off prioritising everything else and trying to figure out if we can bring in a number 10, more of a dribbler maybe, that can sit off this main striker, whether that's Højlund or whoever. That might be more fruitful and more impactful in the team than bringing in Gyökeres, who we don't know. We suspect he's probably pretty good and certainly would work in the Premier League, but we don't know for sure. This isn't buying from another Premier League team. You know, he did very well in the Championship. He's done phenomenally well at Sporting, but we've seen that not quite hit in the past. So that's my thoughts. As much as I would love to see him in a Manchester United shirt, I think we have to be real about this. We do not have an unlimited budget. I think prioritising spending it on him feels like a mistake, as good as he undoubtedly is and as desperate as we undoubtedly are for goals. But that's my take. Please let me know yours in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.